Production.
What is poppin'? We're looking at Iren. This is Iris Energy Limited. They're a miner in the crypto space. Again, we still have this lower trend line that we could use as our support. Main focus here, we have a massive influx of volume back in February, and we're taking the next few months here, as you can see, consolidating in the shape of an ascending triangle. So our major zone we need to watch is 471. In my opinion, if you're watching this play and you want to, again, capitalize on this opportunity, you have to think a little bit longer term to let this potentially play out. So mark a level for you that you think is worth investing in. So that could be anything in the triangle, which maybe for you might be around 231 and our resistance at 471. Maybe your idea is, I'm going to gather as much shares as I can in this zone while I can before we get the breakout of the triangle. Okay, that's one way you could play it. Now, again, one thing I do like about this, let's say we invert the chart. You could look at it a few different ways. You could say, okay, the chart is inverted, right? So you could look at it as, okay, we have a potential head and shoulders developing, right? Which would be bullish because the chart is upside down. So you could look at it from a perspective where, okay, we have the left shoulder here, we have the head, and we're developing the right shoulder right now, right? So if that is the case, and we are weakening this neckline, which is right around here, you're thinking that this is going to have a breakout to the downside, which again, it's inverted, which would be to the upside, right? So that's another bullish way you could look at the stock, right? Inverse head and shoulders if you want to look at it like that, okay? There's a few different ways you could look at it. And most importantly, I do think, you know, like the way I look at charts, I have like a memory from some stocks back in fucking 2019, right? So when I do look at charts, I'm always looking at stocks that had similar patterns. How did it perform? Just so I could note in my head, like, how can I potentially play this, right? So back in 2020, when I was playing Hive, I was looking at very similar patterns where we have this ascending triangle, right? And this is the play that comes out of the ascending triangle. Again, this is November 2020, okay? Big push to the upside. Again, this is a few months after the BTC halving. Keep that in mind, right? So it's a potential play that we should not sleep on. I do think Iren has massive opportunity if you're looking at it from a similar perspective. You just got to be patient with it. It's never going to play the exact same way just like Hive did. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if history is going to rhyme with the previous chart, pay attention to how it reacts, which is why I was pointing out those levels, the inverse head and shoulder, the ascending triangle pattern. This thing could play out for a few more months before we even get a small breakout, which I still think could be a potential play to pay attention to. Another thing, volume. Massive volume comes in on the week of February 13th. We want to pay attention to the increasing volume, right? If you look here, we have a weekly hammer and we're starting to print dojis around this range. This could be telling us we're slowly running out of sellers to the downside and the buyers are stepping up and taking control. So I think that is something to keep in mind as a bullish catalyst if you are looking to invest in a crypto related stock like this. So that's the breakdown here on Iris Energy Limited. Peace.